the battlefields, amidst clashing swords and hearts that know no fear, stood a man who feared not death, but sought it in the path of God. They asked him, "Where are you going, Khalid?" He replied, "To paradise, where death no longer exists." He is Khalid ibn Al-Walid, the drawn sword of God, who fought in over 100 battles and was never defeated in a single one. A man who lived as a warrior and wept on his deathbed, saying, "There is not a single inch of my body untouched by a sword strike or a spear thrust, and yet I die as a camel dies. So let the eyes of cowards never sleep." This is Khalid, a knight who never dies, for courage cannot be buried. In the heart of Mecca, among the proud houses of Banu Makhzum, a child was born into wealth, honor, and strength. His name was Khalid ibn Al-Walid ibn Al-Mughira. His father, Al-Walid ibn Al-Mughira, was one of the richest and most respected men of Quraysh. He was so wealthy that he would cover the Kaaba with new cloth by himself one year, and all of Quraysh would do it together the next year. A tradition that showed his great status and generosity. Khalid grew up in a house filled with power and pride, a home where trade, leadership, and strategy were part of daily life. From a very young age, he loved horses, spears, and the sound of battle more than games or rest. He learned to ride horses, to throw the spear, and to observe the tactics of war from the greatest warriors of his tribe. The men of Banu Makhzum watched him proudly as he trained with focus and courage, his eyes sharp, his heart fearless, as if destiny itself was shaping him to become the sword of Allah, a warrior whose name would never be forgotten. He was courageous from his youth, when his tribe entered a war against other tribes. In one of the battles, Khalid broke more than 7 swords while fighting the enemy, until he was left with only the hilt to strike with. He earned the trust of his tribe and the soldiers fighting alongside him, eventually becoming their commander. After the death of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Musaylima the liar claimed prophethood. Many people joined him in defense, forming an army far larger than that of the Muslims. In the battles with the Muslims, he killed many, nearly causing the Muslim army to collapse. However, Abu Bakr al-Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with him, the Caliph of the Muslims, sent Khalid ibn Al-Walid to lead the army. Demonstrating his exceptional courage, he reorganized the ranks and drew his sword, refusing to sheath it until he defeated the one who killed Muslims and claimed prophethood. He fought the rebels fiercely, pushing them back. Musaylima and his soldiers fled into a fortified orchard. When the Muslims could not break its gate, Al-Bara ibn Malik commanded them to place him on a shield, lift him on the tips of spears, and throw him inside the orchard to open the gate. They did so, killing all who opposed them, and opened the way for Khalid. When Musaylima saw Khalid approaching, he panicked and tried to flee. Every blow he attempted was intercepted by his own soldiers. Finally, Washi hurled a spear into Musaylima's chest, splitting it and killing him. In the Battle of Yarmouk, before the arrival of Khalid ibn Al-Walid, the Islamic army was exhausted and disorganized due to the intense attacks of the Byzantines. The soldiers began to feel fear, hunger, and thirst, and many of them fell back from the front lines. Ibn al-Walid, may Allah be pleased with him, had been leading the siege and conquest of Damascus and had achieved a great victory. Then he received a message from the Caliph Omar ibn al-Khattab, instructing him to go to Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah in the Battle of Yarmouk. Khalid was at a distance, marching with his army under the guidance of a venerable companion, experienced in the desert, named Umaira al-Ta'i, who had lost his sight but was able to lead Khalid to the water wells. When he arrived, the Muslims rejoiced greatly, and the morale of the soldiers soared. The sword of Allah came to them to steady them and defeat their enemies. He divided the army into small units with strong numbers and appointed a commander over each battalion. Whenever the fighting intensified, these battalions would attack, making the enemy believe that the Muslim forces were much larger than they actually were. Khalid ibn Al-Walid then commanded the soldiers to stamp the ground with their feet and ordered the right wing to switch to the left wing to the right, the front to move back, and the rear to advance, making the enemy think that new reinforcements had arrived. As a result, the Byzantine army withdrew, and Khalid achieved victory by the command and support of Allah.